At the age of 94, there is something undeniably intriguing about a person. It's as if the years have accumulated layers of stories that no one has heard. When you mention someone at 94, it's natural to feel curious about the experiences they've lived through. In a way, their age becomes a door to the past, inviting questions like what has this person seen in their lifetime, or what memories are they carrying that no one knows about. 94 is not just a number, it represents decades of living, countless changes in the world, in technology, in society, and in personal life. It's a period that is often associated with wisdom, but also with mystery. A person at 94 is likely to have witnessed historical events, shifts in culture, and the rise and fall of people who were once well known but now forgotten. Every year adds depth to their story, and with each passing decade the world changes, but this person remains a part of the story, still here, still with a perspective that only someone of that age could have. When you think about someone reaching 94, the questions that naturally come up are full of curiosity. What is it like to have lived for so long, to have seen the world transform over such an extended period? The more you think about it, the more you wonder, how did they cope with the changes? What moments in their life were significant enough to shape who they are today? And why, after all these years, are they now coming forward to speak? It's not every day that someone at this stage of life decides to open up. In fact, most people in their 90s tend to stay away from the public eye, especially if they had lived through an era where their fame or relevance has faded with time. But here we have someone at 94, who has spent years in silence, and that raises an even more interesting question: why now? Why speak up now after all this time? At 94, the stories this person could tell are more than just memories, they are pieces of history. The way they recall events, the way they talk about the people they knew, will be from a perspective that few others have. Most of us don't get the chance to reflect on a lifetime's worth of experiences. We don't have the privilege of seeing the world from such a long timeline. This alone makes the person's age, at 94, incredibly significant. It means they have stories not just from their own life, but also from a time long before most of us were born, or a time we only know through history books or old films. And yet there's a deeper layer to this curiosity. When a person reaches this age, especially someone from the world of entertainment, there's always the question of whether their stories will be filled with nostalgia, regret, or even lessons learned. After all, they've had nearly a century to reflect on their life and the choices they've made. What kind of lessons does a person at 94 have to share, and how do those lessons resonate with the world today, a world so different from the one they grew up in? The suspense grows because, as we know, time can change a person. It can make them quiet, reflective, or even a bit nostalgic. But it can also bring out a desire to finally share what has been hidden for so long. Maybe this person at 94 has reached a point where they feel the need to speak, to be heard, to give their version of events that have long been forgotten or misunderstood. Their age brings a sense of urgency. They might not have many years left, and so they decide that it's time to finally share their story. That alone makes the idea of them speaking up at 94 feel even more important, even more thrilling to consider. At 94, there's also the notion that this person has seen others pass away, others who might have been their close friends, colleagues, or even rivals. The fact that they are the last one standing from a group of people, especially from a notable show or era, creates a sense of weight around their words. They've lived to tell the story, and that's what makes this moment all the more compelling. Why did they survive while others didn't? What is it that kept them going, and why have they remained quiet for so long? As you begin to consider all these things, the age of 94 becomes more than just a number. It's a signal of something profound, a life lived in silence, but also a life filled with stories, wisdom, and experiences that are now ready to be shared. And as we look at this person from the perspective of 94, we realize that their silence until now only adds to the mystery. What could they possibly have to say after all this time? There's something about someone at 94 that makes you pause and think. It's not just about the years they've lived through, it's about the life they've lived, the people they've met, the things they've done, and the impact they may have had, whether it was on the big screen or in more personal ways. The curiosity about their life grows stronger, and with each passing year, it only becomes more pressing. We are not just wondering what they'll say, we are wondering what they've learned, what they've experienced, and what they've kept quiet for so long. At 94, the final survivor of something significant, like a beloved TV show or a historic moment, has a power that no one else can replicate. It's not just about fame, it's about having lived long enough to see everything, to understand things others may not, and now they are ready to speak. And this moment at 94 makes us all wonder what kind of truths will be uncovered. The phrase, "the final survivor of Barney Miller," immediately makes us wonder why this person is the last one left. There's something captivating about the idea of being the only remaining member of a group, especially when that group was once so famous. It's not just about being alive, it's about the stories that person holds. The final survivor of something as iconic as a beloved TV show automatically sparks curiosity because it means this person has seen it all. They've watched the rise and fall of their co-stars, they've experienced the highs and lows of fame, and they've lived through decades of changes in the entertainment industry. Being the final survivor implies more than just outliving others. It's the weight of history that comes with it. The others who were part of the show may have left for many reasons, some may have passed away, some may have moved on to other things, but this one person remained. Why? What made them stick around when others didn't? What is it about their experience on Barney Miller that allowed them to continue while others faded from the spotlight? These questions linger in our minds, creating an intriguing puzzle that we are eager to solve. The idea of being the last person standing creates an immediate sense of mystery. What are they thinking about all these years later? What memories do they hold that no one else has? The final survivor of Barney Miller has seen so many changes not just in the entertainment world but also in the world outside. They've seen trends come and go, people they worked with grow older, and the entertainment industry transform in ways we can't even imagine. That alone makes their perspective incredibly valuable, and it makes us wonder what it would be like to hear their side of things. As time goes on, the public's interest in Barney Miller fades, but for this last surviving cast member, it's still a part of their life. Their identity is forever linked to the show, and they carry with them the legacy of what Barney Miller was. We are left wondering how they feel about that. Do they still watch the reruns? Do they reflect on their time on the show and wish they could relive certain moments? Or perhaps they've distanced themselves from it, only to now find themselves reflecting on those years after so much time has passed. The curiosity surrounding this person grows when we realize how much they've witnessed over the years. Being the last living person from a group means you hold a piece of history that no one else has. You're the only one left who can tell the full story of what happened behind the scenes, the stories that were never told during the show's original run. The other cast members may have shared their experiences, but this person's perspective is unique because they alone remain. This raises even more questions. What secrets did the show hide? What moments from filming have been lost to time? What were the personal dynamics between the actors, and how did the show impact their lives in ways we never knew? As the final survivor, this person holds the answers to those questions. They've seen it all and likely have stories that will surprise us. What we find most intriguing is that they have chosen to keep quiet for so long. What caused them to remain silent all these years, and what has changed to make them finally speak? The mystery deepens because we don't know what their true feelings are about the show. Was it a highlight of their life, or was it just another job? Did they form lasting friendships with their co-stars, or were there conflicts that we never knew about? Being the last survivor of a famous show like Barney Miller means that this person is not just a part of the show's history, but they are also the keeper of its untold stories. These are the stories that no one else can tell, and that makes them incredibly valuable. Every time they speak about their time on the show, we get a glimpse into a world that no longer exists, a world where Barney Miller was a cultural touchstone, and the cast members were household names. As we think more about this last survivor, we are left to imagine what it must be like to carry the weight of being the only one left. There is a certain loneliness that comes with being the last person standing, and this survivor must have felt it in some way. Perhaps they've lost friends and colleagues along the way, and now as the final survivor, they are the only link to that part of their lives. But it's not just about the emotional toll of being the last person left, there's also the weight of responsibility that comes with it. They are the last witness to something that mattered to many people. The final survivor is a symbol of endurance, of holding on to something significant even as time marches on and things fade away. This curiosity grows even stronger when we consider that they might have stayed silent out of respect for their fellow cast members, or simply because they never felt the need to speak. Maybe they thought their experiences were not important enough to share, or perhaps they just wanted to move on and leave that part of their life behind. But now as the final survivor, they are the only one who can truly tell the story. The world is waiting for them to share what they know, to give us insight into what Barney Miller was really like from behind the scenes. As the final survivor, they represent something much larger than just themselves. They represent an era in television history, an era that has long passed. Their stories are not just about their time on the show, but about the world during that time, about the people they worked with, and about the impact of the show on American culture. And now as the final survivor, they are the only one who can truly keep that history alive. That alone makes their voice incredibly important. Their quote something undeniably captivating about the idea of being the last person left from such a beloved show. It's not just about being alive, it's about being the last link to something that mattered to millions of people. The final survivor of Barney Miller is more than just a person. They are the keeper of memories, the holder of stories, and the final witness to a piece of history that we are all eager to hear. What they choose to say will likely shape how we remember not just the show, but also the people who were part of it and the impact it had on the world around it. When someone who has been silent for years decides to speak out, it immediately catches our attention. The idea of a person breaking their silence, especially after such a long period, is incredibly intriguing. It makes us wonder what finally pushed them to speak. What is it that they've been holding back for all this time? And why after so many years have they chosen to speak now? These questions create a powerful sense of curiosity, making us eager to learn more about the reason behind their decision. When someone speaks out, it often means that something has changed. Perhaps they have reached a point in their life where they feel it is time to share their experiences. Maybe they've gone through personal growth and now believe their story is worth telling. Or perhaps they simply feel that the world has changed enough that their story will resonate with people today in a way it wouldn't have when they were younger. Whatever the reason, the very act of speaking out is filled with suspense and possibility. It means that there are things they've been keeping inside for years and now they are ready to let those things out. For someone who has been silent for so long, speaking out isn't just a casual decision, it's likely a deeply personal choice, one that involves weighing the consequences. They might have spent years reflecting on their life and what they have experienced, and now they feel that the time is right. The question is why? What happened that made them decide now is the moment? The curiosity around this moment is intense because it's not just about telling a story, it's about opening up to the world after a long period of silence. This is where the mystery lies. What has been so important, so meaningful that they feel compelled to share it now? The fact that they have kept quiet for so long makes this moment even more significant. People who have been silent often have powerful stories to tell. They may have observed things others didn't notice, or they may have held on to personal memories that could change the way we understand their life, their career, or even the history of the show they were part of. The very silence itself is a signal that there's something deep and meaningful hidden inside. And when someone chooses to speak after so many years, we know that what they have to say is not something they take lightly. Another layer of curiosity comes from the idea of what they have been thinking all these years. Have they regretted their silence? Have they longed to speak but for some reason chose not to? It makes us wonder if they've been carrying a burden, waiting for the right time or opportunity to share their story. Maybe they felt that the world wasn't ready for their story, or perhaps they didn't believe their voice would matter until now. The suspense builds as we begin to imagine what could have been holding them back. Were they protecting their own privacy? Or were they protecting others, perhaps colleagues, friends, or even the memory of the show itself? These questions create a sense of urgency around their decision to finally speak. The mystery deepens because with silence comes the potential for unexpected revelations. When someone stays quiet for so long, we can only imagine what they have seen and experienced. What were the behind-the-scenes moments that were never shared? What was life really like on set? What did they think of the people they worked with? And what was their perspective on the fame that came with being on a hit TV show like Barney Miller? These questions all hang in the air, waiting to be answered. And now that this person has decided to speak out, we are left wondering what new light they will shed on all of these things. The decision to speak out is also a kind of invitation for the public to engage with them. After years of silence, they are opening up, allowing us into their world. But there's also the possibility that they may not reveal everything. This makes the process of learning what they have to say all the more exciting. Will they share everything, or will they hold back certain parts of their experience? The mystery behind their words becomes even more captivating because we don't know how much they will reveal or how much they will keep to themselves. Will they share things that will surprise us? Or will they stick to the basics and tell us only what we already know? This uncertainty adds to the intrigue. And let's not forget the potential emotional weight of this decision. For someone who has been silent for so long, speaking out could be an emotional experience. They might be revisiting old memories that are both painful and joyful. Maybe they've never fully processed their time on Barney Miller and the years that followed. Now that they've decided to speak, it's possible they are also working through their own emotions and coming to terms with the past. This adds an extra layer of complexity to the act of speaking out, making it more than just a simple story. It could be a deeply personal journey that is shared with the public. We can't help but feel curious about how they are feeling as they prepare to share their thoughts. For us, the audience, this is a rare opportunity. People don't often get a chance to hear from someone who has kept quiet for decades. The words of someone like this hold weight because they have lived through so much. Every sentence they speak could reveal something new, something unexpected, something that fills in the gaps we never knew existed. The anticipation of what they will say next keeps us on edge, eager to hear what this person has been holding inside for so many years. Their decision to speak out is like unlocking a treasure chest filled with memories and experiences, and we're all waiting to see what they will share. At the same time, there's a sense of caution. Speaking out after such a long silence means that they are ready to confront the past, both the good and the bad. They might be opening up wounds they've kept closed for years. The curiosity here is not just about the facts, but also about the emotions that come with revisiting old memories. There's a certain bravery in speaking out, especially when so much time has passed. For the person in question, speaking out may also be a way of making peace with the past. It might be their way of reclaiming their voice, of taking control of their own narrative. This moment of speaking out is not just about sharing stories, it's about revealing a hidden part of themselves, a part that we've all been wondering about. And that's what makes it so captivating. It's not just the words they say that matter, it's the fact that after all these years they have chosen to finally share their truth with the world. This decision is the hook that draws us in. The reason we can't stop wondering what they will say next. It's the mystery of their silence, and the excitement of what they might reveal, that makes us hang on to every word they speak. The phrase "after years of silence" carries a sense of mystery and anticipation. When someone has been silent for such a long time, it makes us wonder what kept them quiet for all these years. What was going on in their life during that period? What was it that made them choose silence instead of speaking out? The idea of silence can be powerful, and it naturally sparks curiosity. We all know that when a person stays silent for a long time, there's usually a reason behind it. Silence is often a way of protecting oneself or others, but it can also be a way of withholding something important. So when someone finally breaks that silence, it can feel like a revelation, a moment when something hidden comes to light. The longer the silence, the more intriguing it becomes. Time creates a sense of buildup. Each year that passes without the person speaking only increases the curiosity around their story. It's almost like waiting for the climax of a mystery novel. You know that the big moment is coming, and you're eager to find out what the person has been holding on to for so long. The silence itself creates suspense, making us wonder whether what they have to say will be worth the wait. The concept of silence over such an extended period also makes us think about what the person might have gone through. Perhaps they needed time to process their experiences. Life can be overwhelming, especially when one has lived through significant events, and it's possible that they didn't feel ready to talk about their past until now. Sometimes the weight of personal experiences can be too heavy to share, and it takes years to find the strength to open up. There's a sense of empathy that builds up as we think about how this person may have felt all these years. They may have had moments where they wanted to speak but chose not to for various reasons. The silence then becomes a part of their journey, one that we can only understand when they finally decide to share their thoughts. But silence also raises the question, why wait so long? Why hold back for decades before finally speaking? This is the point where our curiosity intensifies. What was it that stopped them from speaking all these years? Were they protecting themselves or their colleagues? Did they feel that the world was not ready to hear their story? The longer the silence lasted, the more it becomes a puzzle that we are desperate to solve. The questions keep building. What experiences were too painful to share? Were there relationships that the person wanted to protect, or perhaps they simply didn't feel like their voice mattered until now? Each possible answer adds to the mystery, making the moment when they finally break their silence even more exciting. We also start to wonder about what they may have been doing during all those silent years. How did they live their life away from the spotlight? What did they focus on when the world was no longer watching them? Did they go on to live quietly, or were they involved in something that kept them busy? The silence creates a sense of absence, a feeling that this person was living their life out of the public eye, and now they are ready to re-enter it with something to say. This gap of silence makes us even more interested in what they've been up to. What parts of their life will they reveal to us now that they are ready to speak? After years of silence, there's also the possibility that this person has gained new insights or perspectives. Time changes how we view the past, and sometimes people need space to reflect before they are ready to talk about what happened. Perhaps as they aged, they started to see things differently, and felt that their story had more value now than it did back then. This shift in perspective makes the silence even more intriguing. Maybe what they have to say today will offer us a fresh view of their life, their experiences, and the world they lived in, one that they couldn't have shared when they were younger, or when the events were still fresh in their mind. The curiosity lies in what they have learned during those silent years, and how they now see the events they lived through. The more we think about it, the more we start to realize that silence is often a way of preserving one's personal story. By staying quiet, a person can hold on to their own truth, their own version of events, without being influenced by others or the public. Silence allows someone to protect their narrative until they are ready to share it on their own terms. In this case, the years of silence could be seen as a way for this person to guard their memories and their experiences. They may have waited until they were truly ready to share, ensuring that their words would come from a place of clarity and understanding. There's also the possibility that the silence was necessary to process difficult moments. If this person was involved in something traumatic or challenging, they might have needed time to heal before they could speak about it. Trauma often requires time to process, and during that time, silence is a way to protect oneself from reliving painful memories. After years of silence, when the pain or confusion has subsided, they might feel that they are in a better place to speak out, to share their truth with the world. The idea that they have been silent for so long, yet are now choosing to speak, suggests that there's something important they feel the world needs to know. The fact that they waited until now indicates that they have carefully considered the timing of their words. It suggests that they believe their story has value, and now after all this time, they feel that it's the right moment to share. This decision to finally speak, after years of holding back, makes us think about what they must have been going through all these years. It makes us realize that silence isn't just the absence of speech, it's the presence of something important waiting to be said. And now that they've chosen to break that silence, the anticipation builds as we eagerly await what they have to say. The moment after years of silence is not just about revealing the past, it's about taking control of one's story. It's about choosing to be heard after so much time in the shadows. For the person who has been silent, it might feel like a release, a chance to finally let go of everything they've been holding inside. And for the audience, it's a rare and exciting opportunity to hear something that has been kept hidden for years. The questions we've had, the mysteries that have lingered, will finally be addressed, and that makes the moment of breaking silence all the more significant. Every moment of silence before this is filled with suspense. Every year that passed without them speaking made the eventual moment of speaking even more captivating. Now as they decide to speak, we are left wondering what it is that will be revealed. What truths have been held in silence for so long? The anticipation and curiosity make this moment one that will be remembered, as it holds the promise of understanding the past in a way we never could before. When we think about someone's life having an impact, we often imagine big moments, times when their actions changed the course of events or influenced others. But the true impact of someone's life isn't always seen in grand gestures. Sometimes it's in the small things, the subtle ways they shape the world around them. In this case, the life of the final survivor of Barney Miller holds an impact that goes beyond just their time on the show. The legacy of their life stretches far, touching many aspects of the entertainment industry, the people they worked with, and even the culture at large. The curiosity around how their life shaped these things is something that draws us in. We first become curious about the impact of their life because of the show itself. Barney Miller was a beloved and influential TV show that touched the hearts of many people. Being part of such an iconic show means that this person was part of something special, something that made a mark on the world. But beyond the fame and recognition, what other impact did they have? Did they change the way people viewed certain issues? Did they bring a new perspective to the screen that had a lasting effect on how television shows were made? The curiosity grows as we start to think about the smaller, more personal ways their life has left its mark. Every actor, every person who takes part in creating something has their own unique influence, and we can't help but wonder what theirs was. As we dive deeper into their life, we start to realize that their impact wasn't just on the screen. It's in the relationships they built, the people they mentored, and the way they interacted with the world around them. The entertainment industry is full of people who come and go, but there are those who leave lasting impressions on the people they meet, the colleagues they work with, and the fans who admire them. For this person, their impact might have been felt by those who worked alongside them on set as well as those who watched them on TV. Perhaps they were a role model, someone who helped others find their way in the industry or simply offered guidance when it was needed most. This part of their impact is often more personal, more subtle, but it's just as significant. Their life might have also had an impact on the direction of the show itself. How did they influence the characters they portrayed? Did their performance inspire other actors to think differently about their roles or bring a new dimension to their craft? It's fascinating to think about how this person's presence on the set of Barney Miller could have affected the overall tone and success of the show. Even though they may not have been the lead star, every cast member contributes to the success of a show in their own way. The more we think about it, the more we wonder how this person's unique qualities, whether it was their dedication, their talent, or their perspective, shaped the show into what it became. Then there's the impact on the audience. Barney Miller wasn't just a show, it was a cultural touchstone. It tackled real-life issues in a way that was both humorous and meaningful, and it left a lasting impression on viewers. Being part of that show meant that this person helped bring those important issues to light. They became a part of the conversations that shaped the cultural landscape of the time, and even now, years after the show ended, their role continues to influence how people remember the show and what it meant to them. Their impact might be felt in the way people talk about the show, how it has been passed down through generations, and how it continues to resonate with fans old and new. But the impact of their life isn't just confined to their career. It also extends to their personal experiences, the lessons they've learned, and how they've grown over the years. Life is full of challenges, and for someone who has been part of such a high-profile show, those challenges might have been even more intense. The way they navigated fame, the choices they made in their personal life, and how they handled the ups and downs of the industry could all have contributed to their overall impact. We often look to celebrities for inspiration, and perhaps this person's journey offers lessons on perseverance, adaptability, and resilience. Their ability to continue on despite the challenges they may have faced adds another layer to their legacy. The curiosity around the impact of their life also grows when we think about how they've chosen to live in recent years. After stepping away from the spotlight, how have they lived their life? Have they continued to be involved in causes they care about, or have they chosen to live a quiet, private life away from the public eye? Perhaps they have spent their time helping others, volunteering, or simply enjoying their later years. The way they have chosen to live out the remainder of their life gives us insight into who they are beyond their public persona. It makes us wonder if the choices they've made have had an impact on their family, friends, or community. Another aspect of their life's impact is the way they've been remembered. How has the world viewed them over the years? In the entertainment industry, it's easy for someone to be forgotten as time passes, but for this person, their role in Barney Miller has kept them in the public's memory. The show's legacy continues to live on through reruns and digital platforms, meaning that even though the person has been out of the spotlight for years, their impact is still felt by new generations of viewers. This lasting presence speaks to the quality of their work and the way they connected with audiences. It's a reminder that even when someone steps away from the public eye, their contributions can continue to shape how people see the world and the art they create. The curiosity deepens as we consider the broader cultural impact of their life. What larger societal trends did they influence, either directly or indirectly? Perhaps their role in Barney Miller helped shine a light on certain social issues or reflected the changing dynamics of the time. Television shows often act as mirrors to society, and this person's role in that show could have reflected the values and struggles of the era. This makes us wonder how the world has changed since the show aired and what part they played in that transformation. Did they help bring attention to important issues or push boundaries in ways that were ahead of their time? Their influence on the cultural landscape is another part of their impact that we can't help but be curious about. What's also fascinating is the way this person's life continues to inspire others. As the final survivor of Barney Miller, they represent a connection to a past era, an era that was shaped by the work they did and the people they worked with. Their life is a bridge to that time, a living piece of history. It's clear that their life has had a lasting impact both on the entertainment industry and on the people who watch them. And as they finally speak out after years of silence, we are left wondering just how much more they will reveal about their impact. What stories will they share about the ways they've shaped the world around them? What insights will they offer about the legacy they've left behind? In the end, the impact of their life is about more than just what they did on the screen. It's about the people they influenced, the lessons they taught, and the ways they've shaped the culture they were a part of. And now, as they step forward to share their story, we can only imagine the full extent of that impact. It's a reminder that even when someone seems to disappear from the spotlight, their influence can still ripple through the years, affecting lives in ways we may not even realize. Their story is one of legacy, and the curiosity about how their life has shaped the world will only grow as we learn more about them. When someone has lived a long and interesting life, it's natural to wonder about what comes next. After all, we're all curious about the future, especially when it comes to someone who has been silent for so long. For the final survivor of Barney Miller, this question is even more intriguing. After years of silence, why have they chosen to speak now? What does the future hold for them now that they are ready to break their silence? It's this uncertainty about what lies ahead that creates a sense of curiosity. It leaves us wondering if their return to the public eye is the start of something new or if it's simply a moment of reflection. Will they continue to share more about their life, or is this just a one-time event? We often think of the future as a blank page, full of possibilities. And for someone who has spent years away from the spotlight, this moment of reemergence could be seen as a new chapter. But what will this chapter look like? Will they decide to step back into the entertainment world, or will they choose to stay out of the limelight? There's a lot of curiosity around the idea of someone who has been so private suddenly becoming public again. What drives them to return now, and what do they want to achieve with this new phase in their life? The uncertainty of what their future holds makes us wonder about their next steps. It's easy to imagine that after years of silence, this person might have something important to say. Breaking their silence could be the first step in a series of revelations, or perhaps it's the beginning of a new career. Will they continue to speak out on their experiences, maybe even write a book about their life, or will they turn to other forms of creative expression? The curiosity is heightened by the possibility that this could just be the start of a new journey. We all wonder whether this person has plans to share more, to make a comeback in some form, or if this will be their final moment of public attention. On the other hand, it's also possible that after years of silence, they may not want the attention at all. Maybe their decision to speak out is not about returning to the spotlight, but about clearing the air and putting the past behind them. Some people choose to speak out not because they want to relive the past, but because they want to move on. It's possible that this person has no desire to go back into the public eye, but simply wants to share their truth, give closure to their story, and then retreat back to a more private life. This possibility adds another layer of intrigue because it makes us wonder how they feel about fame and public attention now. Have they become more private over the years, or are they ready to embrace the future with a new sense of openness? The fact that they've chosen to speak now, after such a long period of silence, also makes us question what might have changed. Is there something about the present moment that makes them feel it's the right time to share their story? Maybe they've reached a place in their life where they feel comfortable reflecting on the past and sharing their experience. Perhaps they have seen something in the world today that makes them feel their story needs to be told. Sometimes the right time to speak comes when we realize that our story can have a positive impact on others. The curiosity grows because we wonder what it was that made them choose now, after all this time, to break their silence. Was there a particular event, realization, or personal growth that led them to this moment? What's also intriguing is how the world has changed since they were last in the public eye. The entertainment industry is always evolving, and the way we consume media has shifted dramatically over the years. It's interesting to think about how this person might navigate these changes. The world has become more connected through social media, and the way people engage with celebrities has changed. If this person chooses to re-enter the public sphere, how will they do it? Will they embrace these new platforms, or will they stay away from the digital age and continue to focus on traditional forms of communication? The curiosity around their approach to the future is significant because it makes us wonder how they will adapt to a world that is very different from the one they left behind. In a way, the future holds a sense of mystery for them, just as it does for us. For someone who has lived through so much and been part of an iconic show like Barney Miller, their future could look vastly different from what we expect. They could choose to use their voice to make a difference in the world, or they might prefer to live a quiet life away from the public eye. The uncertainty surrounding their next move makes us think about the possibilities. Could they start a new career? Could they become involved in charity work? Could they be an advocate for causes they care about? There's so much potential for what could happen next, and that's what makes the future so intriguing. Their quote is also the possibility that this person's future will involve mentoring or guiding others. After years of experience in the entertainment industry, they might have valuable insights to offer younger generations of actors, producers, or writers. In many ways, becoming a mentor can be just as fulfilling as continuing one's own career. By passing on wisdom and experience, they could have an impact on the next generation of talent. This idea of mentoring adds another layer to their potential future, as we wonder if they will step into this role and share their expertise with others. It's an opportunity for them to shape the industry in a new way, one that doesn't require them to be in the spotlight but still allows them to have a significant impact. The curiosity about the future is also heightened by the question of what legacy they want to leave behind. After living a long life and being part of a major TV show, how do they want to be remembered? Do they want to be seen as an artist, a pioneer, a mentor, or something else entirely? The future gives them the chance to shape their legacy in a way that feels authentic to who they are now. As they reflect on their past, they may be thinking about how they want their contributions to be remembered. This is another reason why the curiosity around their future is so strong. It's not just about what they will do next, but also about how they will be remembered by others. Their future is filled with possibilities, and each option comes with its own set of questions. Will they continue to be a part of the entertainment world, or will they leave that behind for good? Will they embrace new opportunities, or will they prefer to remain private? The mystery of their future is what makes their next step so intriguing. As they step into this next phase of their life, we are left to wonder about the path they will choose. The anticipation builds as we wait to see what they will do, knowing that whatever they decide, it will be a part of their unique journey. The curiosity about what lies ahead is not just about their personal decisions, it's about how their choices will shape their future and their legacy.